beautiful. Oh, good morning. I mean, it happens sometimes. It does happen.
Your mind is not... Your mind... Allow me to do a direct translation. Your mind is not here.
I exam recently, so I try to gain back my energy, you know, gain back my
concentration. Put your strength together.
To put my strength together. So, you know, it happens sometimes, you know, even the professionals that we look up to. So we're not from a break. We're actually just starting the program now, probably because we started late.
40-day program is almost sorry, boy.
Why? Maybe because we started late. So, you know, first of all, apologies for starting late. You know, due to reasons beyond our control, we were unable to start on time. But good morning. I am Jennifer Sonko, your host, and my amazing co-host here, Ibrahim Abad.
Yes, it's good to be back again on this platform and, you know, do the newspaper review and look at certain things that are happening. And, you know, as usual, we are back again, Jay.
So, naka affaire?
Wow, ala mu ngi yëngu rek, di yëngu rek, Tubaski ba nga ko yëngal.
Naka la identify nga bo buga identify so at the end of the
tey sa bu ma doon jógee kër di ñëw saani naa suma bote si abuko battuwaar bi noonu di xool waaye mu ngi mel ni xar yu bari wuñ de waaw we have few of them you know, and we have like 12 days to go.
MS good morning.
So
good morning.
Yeah, MS naka hari identify nga bo buga
ba léegi identify aguma yeah foog naa ne xar dafa seer this year.
Okay.
Because most of xar yi nii dañ leen di jëlee Sénégal ñu Mauritania Sénégal then to the Gambia maybe few yoo xamante ne ñu ngi leen a yar fii nii xar yar yi mostly sax moo di gën a seer waaye tamit soo xoolee li nga xamante ne mooy cafka be quality be you know in the yar si kër bi moo di am cafka be but I think ne also we need to invest more in animal husbandry.
Exactly.
Knowing ne
waaw nga xam ne ñooñu dinañ mun a meet market bi foog naa ñu ngi doon def sa a trade fair sort of at the you know, at the Independence Stadium. You don't showcase and send products, send produce ak yu demee noonu. Why I think it's important, you know, to
xam nga man nu ma ko gisee it's important sometimes at least bu nekkee benn ñaari xar la sax nga mun koo bàyyi sa kër nga yar ko
waaye yar xar yomb yar xar sa kër
dafa
métti waaye
it entails a lot.
Exactly.
You know, even lekka bi raykel be yooyu noonu yëpp daf day nekk issues.
Waaw exactly.
So fi mu nekk nii dañoo just dugg si proverbe bi danga ko wax si olof wala ñoo ko si anglais.
Waaw ñu ne well I don't know how to say insect in Wolof. I don't know.
Insect.
Insect. You know, a small insect spoils a big nut.
Gunur, is it?
Gunur is a form of an insect.
Yeah,
it's part of the insect family. What is the general name of insect in Wolof?
Yeah, mostly for now gunur la de.
No mutu.
No mutu tamit is another form.
It's another class.
Do mutu mo de nekk si lal bi?
No.
Mutu bu ndaw yu ndaw la de.
Lan mo de nekk si lal bi?
Mata.
Mus nga gis mata.
Boy, I experienced mata boy when I was very little boy. How ma fan laa jëlee mata. maa ngi dem grade 6. How ma fan laa jëlee mata. How ma da suma boy yaa ñëw tëdda suma lal bi indil ma mata. Mata is very uncomfortable. Soo tëddee sa lal bi mel ni dañ dee dugg di la tikul.
So fi mu nekk nii dañoo delluwaat léegi nii si suñu African proverbe bi su ko defee Mr President dinañu wax na xam na mata ndax xamul mata man tam dinaa leen wax na xam naa tiiñ. So, we're just going to head right on to this video call. Mustafa Mane, an environmental activist, is currently in Lisbon, Portugal, and attending the UN Ocean Conference. So this particular conference is about focusing on scaling up ocean action based on the sustainable goals. So we will just engage them there, and I'm aware Keba Jefang is also there, a journalist. I guess we'll be following his updates there. But today we are joined by Mustafa Mane, an environmental activist, who actually is quite concerned about ocean-related matters and beyond. Thank you so much, Mustafa, for joining us. And can you just give us a quick update as to what has been going on there in Lisbon, Portugal?
Thank you so much, Jay. And it's a pleasure to be here. So there are a lot of things that have been happening here in Lisbon regarding the environmental and ozone-related issues. Said by the Secretary General of UN, Guterres, they don't want to hear more statements. They want to hear action-oriented statements that are going to give a lot of impact. And he urged countries to take strict action. He said ozone helps a lot in terms of food and other issues, but again, it is one of the most neglected areas that the countries are to engage.
Yes.
So we have very important people here. That includes the president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, because this conference is co-hosted by
Kenya. Portugal.
Yes.
I want to know, in what capacity are you there as a youth environmental activist, as a negotiator, or what? In what capacity are you there? Because we just want to understand your role so that we can follow up on that.
Okay. So I am invited here by Kenya Dialogue.
Okay.
It's an NGO based in the UK. So I am working for them as a West Africa regional editor with Keba Giva.
Interesting.
Yes. So our role here is to attend sessions and see how best we can contribute. And also to see how to write the story, especially on the small fishing, and also the blue project.
All right. We're looking forward to the stories that you will get to share from there. Is there a government delegation? Is there a Gambian government delegation at the conference as we speak?
Yes, there are Gambian government delegations here. I saw the Yabo. Yabo is here, Le Yabo, the former permanent representative of the Gambia to UN. And also there's a staff from Ministry of Fisheries here. They are attending these sessions. But I spoke with some of them who are focusing mainly on the small-scale fishing. But we also have Dauda Sen here. Dauda Sen is the secretary or the president to the Gambia Fishing Association.
Right. So, yes, you are there to write stories for this network that is in question. So, while writing these stories, considering the fact that we are talking about ocean action-based, scaling it up when it comes to science and innovation, how do you connect this to the Gambian context? How? What realities do we have on ground that you can connect it to?
Yes, the UN Secretary General talks about the waste, the waste, those are untreated waste that is going into the ocean.
Right.
And this really relates to what is happening in the Gambia right now regarding to the fishing factories. 3 fishing factories who are discharging their wastewater into the Atlantic Ocean, and without any proper treatment. And these are among the concerns that are raised here. And I think this is one of the questions that I'm going to raise. So when I met the Gambian delegates here, what is going to be their stand here?
Yeah, I'm particularly looking forward to what their stand is going to be as they have sent individuals to negotiate on our behalf. Yeah, so I think that is all from me, Mustafa. Thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we will get to engage you as the conference goes by, and you will get to tell us some of the things that are being negotiated. I'm looking forward to that. And please say hi to Keba Jefang as well. You know, tell him we're looking forward to all of the exciting stories that he continues to do for the Gambia.
Thank you so much. I will do that. It's a pleasure being here.
All right. It is a pleasure out of your busy schedule. Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
And you know, he already, are you there, Mustafa?
Yes, I'm here.
So I forgot to ask, how do you see the city? How do you see the city of Lisbon?
It is a lovely city.
Is it?
Full of water and amazing memories.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you see the food? Are you enjoying the food? Your surname is Mane. I don't know what is said about Mane.
Ah. Well,
I'm Sonko, so
it's really something else.
okay.
We are struggling to cope, so we have to look for a place where we can have rice.
All right. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Why should you eat rice in Lisbon? Why should you struggle? Can't you eat something else till you come back?
No, come on. We had a food. We spend a lot of money on the food that we cannot eat as well.
Okay, I will let it go.
I spent 20 euros on the food that
Wa man kay ma wax la dara man Sonko la santa waaye suma tukkee du ma lekk maalo de.
Right.
Thank you so much. Bye bye. Thank you, Mustafa. Thank you.
It's not bad to eat rice. But
I'm considering the fact that I'm not like you have some do I mean I'm not yena like you have so ko tegale ki nga xamne malo la min ko malo rek la mo
wa so nga ne mata sa boy si dañ gis mata sa mbuba bi
wa lolu experience nañ ko da nga gis sometimes nga ñew nga fekk salal baangi am mata do understand naka la man experience na ko
nga gis mata bi ni muy dox
like mata ni how ma bu rëy laa fa gisoon how ma mooy yaay bi how after at some point ma ñëw ma gis ay mata yu sew you know so mënuma understand waaye man xam nga man at some point suma kër time boobu booy yëpp suma néeg lañ dee campé
so da nga feel ne mata bi is important mata bi is important
dama feel ne mata bi dafa ñëw
laaj ko na moom mus naa gis mata
man to be honest musuma gis mata I've never seen mata before.
Gisuloko?
Gisuma mata. Suma degara.
Wow, that's strange, yeah?
Gisuma mata. Okay. I don't know.
A Gambian bi nga xamna fa tok mu gis mata.
I'm being truthful here. Like I can't tell you exactly how mata looks.
Oh, okay. Man suma sponge bobu dama ko gene malaka ko.
Wow. Why teñ mom musuma am teñ, why mus na gis teñ. I've seen teñ. I've actually removed teñ from somebody's head. I've done that before.
I've seen teñ, I've seen mata, I've seen all those things. It makes it beautiful.
Mr. President,
yeah. It's sometimes, you know, then they get strengthened, but it's good also to insecticides always. I use living pesticides always because sometimes maybe it's the environment because Kiryu, but Gambia fini obviously. Fog ñu jankontele lolu because insects yi ni sometimes do they muna understand nit muna joge fenen mu ñew because do muna wax nit du ñew sa side so
ini wale ko
yeah exactly
amna ñom advance ñom Aliou Diallo ñom Bakar ngi wax ne gis na mata dafa waxat
mata ak lifin naka la wat sa leni way mbut mom you know comme léegi sa nga gis nga dem ci airport sa nga tassé fa Gambia nga gis mbut bi nga xamne obviously mbóot bi Gambia la
fu nekk am mbóot nag
ak jana
mbóot fu nekk la nekk
am na yoo xam ne
mbóot déedéet mbóot am na fu
si di Gambian mbóot di Gambian mbóot soo ko gisee danga ko lay xamee man xamee naa di Gambian mbóot
waaye mbóot la
mbóot xam nga dafa am mbóot yu rëy yu rëy ak mbóot yu sew yu dee nekk si wóor
sawaji sa mbaa bu dama bi mbaa yóbbu mbóot
waaye mbóot fu nekk la am di mbóot fu nekk la am
waaye Gambian mbóot si
kii no di Gambian mbóot
wala jana
waaye loolu nag dina unfair nag ñu import ay mbóot yooyu di ko yóbbu si dëkk jaar
bu nekkee
ay maata
non waaye dafa sew doo ko dem
soo jëlee sa wolis nga paak fekk mbóot
kon nañuy bugg di fogo suñ wolis yi bu baax parce que rafetut ñu enu mbóot di ko jëlee si dëkka di ko transport si dëkka warut de waaye mbóot daal fu nekk la nekk
yooyu dafa dañ sew ba nga xam ne doo leen mën a understand fuñ dee nekk
waaye moom dafa am pour lakas poñtam bi pour maata bi
non man like I've lived with mata honestly
fan kombo fii ndax
loolu grade 6 la
base la
non fu nekk kombo fu nekk
mata
kay amul region bi
amul region de
loolu Brikama la woon fekk maa ngi grade 6 ama ñëw su ma tëddee du ma dee feel comfortable daf ma dee jam rek du ma jam
waaye dañoo survive they are citizens yow tam yaa ngi lekk si ndawal yeeg yooyu noonu
so this So now, this shows you how much a small insect can spoil a big nut. This shows you how a small insect can affect an individual life.
Of course.
Man, yo, so you wait do it. Yo, yo, acknowledge my game, why you struggle. So this shows you that very little problems, very little elements can spark something big. You know, even in terms of war, you know, little comments you make can actually affect, you know, a whole country going into war.
I heard the noise.
Comments.
I heard the noise that you make. I mean,
wow, it's so annoying. So this shows you, every step we take, we have to be careful because something very little can actually affect everything that we've been working on, everything that we've been trying to build, and actually shatter all the dreams that we have. So I think that is all. On our African proverb. Quite interesting. So now we can just easily slide to our newspaper review.
All right, this is the voice. Motorcyclist died in truck accident. SFL condemns degrade treatment of African migrants attempting to cross to Spain. Unfortunate. Opposition urged to form alliance for 2023 local government elections. And of course, authorities on plight of Gambians under deportation from Germany, APRC to put up candidates for local government election. Yes, that's the voice. And here is the Foraya. Gambians feel cheated in being sold tapalapa at a reduced rate rather. Lawmakers to interrogate executives on purported deportation of Gambians from Germany. And the editorial Immigrant Lives Matter.
Yeah.
We have another one, very interesting.
Yeah.
Authorities continue search for escaped inmates. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so moving on here, we have that AU calls for investigation into migrant deaths, violence on Morocco-Spain border. We called on the AU yesterday. Maybe the AU was watching this morning. We called on the AU and ECOWAS yesterday on the program to who knows, IMS?
Probably.
Maybe they top us in program.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, so I think that is the only interesting headline I can see here, that the AU is calls for investigation into migrant deaths, violence on Morocco-Spain border. And MS, prior to this particular problem facing, recently we were talking about how there was this particular project where $100 million was actually given in relation to solving problems related to migration. And we actually said for the past 5 years, even beyond, but let's just say 5 years in Gambia, when the new dispensation came, that is when really projects surfaced as to migration related matters. So we were like, are they like supposed to take another dimension, you know, to these projects as to limiting the number of individuals who get to go through the back way? The push factors are still there. Individuals are still seeing the need to go. So do you think we should look at our strategies again to see what can be done better?
Absolutely. It should be an ongoing process. And as you said, the push factor is still, I think, is one of the things that is making people go to this on these perilous, precarious journeys. And it's so sad, you know, when I saw these footages, you know, I nearly cried, because if you see the inhuman treatment that our brothers and sisters goes through during these journeys, I think it's so disheartening and degrading. It's important to look inwards. Like, for instance, first is like the basic commodities. Mostly, we have to factor. It's one of the major factors that is causing people going. Because if prices are hiking up, you want to get food for your family, you're working, probably sometimes you're working, because most of these people, some of them are employed, but they are underemployed. You're going to work, probably you cannot feed your family. So you think that, hey, the best way to do this is to go. You understand? So I think the basic commodities is another thing. underemployment is a problem in this country, and unemployment is on the rise. If you look at the recent survey, it's going up to 40 to 45% on employment. So I believe we should look comprehensively, have a national convergence and discuss around.
Is it a national convergence? MS, I have a national convergence fatigue.
Anyway, I think these are the things, even if it is not national convergence, but these are the things that we should discuss and understand the issues realistically. Not only draft nice projects, get funding, and then from there. And also, if, like, for instance, we had the YEP project, you know, if you're supporting someone, I believe you have to, it's better we support few people and they succeed than you support a lot of people and probably they goes back to square zero. Like, for instance, having trainings, giving them certificates. So what next after that training? I've heard a lot of people, though there are success stories.
They are.
Yeah, we have a lot of success stories with the YEP project, but we also have a lot of failures. Absolutely. Well, you know, so I think we have to look into that, and also government should not be waiting on getting funding or whatever. I think we have to also look inwards, how to ensure that probably we create. I know government has the youth, is it the Youth Development Fund?
Yeah, through NADI, I saw how
exactly, but that's not sufficient. I think that probably might be a drop in the ocean. So how can we do things to ensure that we create that enabling environment? And also the private sector have a role to play in ensuring. So I don't know how government will look into having very good comprehensive public-private partnership. You know, maybe waive tax so that these people can employ more people, or reduce the corporate tax, so that I know government want money that much. We are a tax-based economy, but sometimes you have to also look into the benefits as well.
Sometimes you see, you know, specific jobs where the kind of years of experience that they're looking for. Am experience through a job. Why sometimes the experience they are looking for, they even frustrate university graduates. Because, for example, these are fresh graduates, they let the 5 years experience,
and also, and also create, like this guy was talking about their conference. How can we tap into the blue economy? Now, the countries are now discussing around maintaining, sustaining the ocean. You know, how can we tap into the blue economy? For instance, in Tangier, if you go there, most of them are not Gambians. And those people are making a lot of money out of it.
Well, MS,
you know, the river is here. How are we going to tap into the blue? The oil spillage also is another problem. That is,
and we do not even have the capacity.
That is even affecting the oyster farming. You understand? So how can we ensure that we have more mangroves, so that probably we will develop that sector? And probably young people, if it is lucrative, obviously, people will venture into that.
You know,
the blue economy, we should tap into it.
Okay, I noted few points here. I mean, there are many reasons why youth cross to, Spain.
There are a lot of reasons.
Yes, I mean, you've mentioned a reason, maybe some of the things that are happening in the country, maybe to get survival sometimes leads, youths to go on this journey. But I'll tell you, some of them too, they have all the opportunities here, but they still want to cross to Europe for the name that I want to be in Europe.
But there must be a pull, either pull or push factors. You know, we have pull factors and push factors. For me, I believe the push factor is causing people to go more than the pull factor. Probably the perception that, yeah, if you go to Europe, people, you earn respect. Yeah, but who created that culture? It's us. We created that culture amongst ourselves. So I think if we try to see how best we can demystify those cultures, and also try to make sure that we create those avenues where people will live a dignified life.
Yeah.
For instance, I've made mention of the blue economy. If you tap into that, young people venture into fishing, you know, harvesting, a lot of things that can come out from the river. Bro, I'm sure Gambia will be a hub.
Well, you know, all the time.
Ibrahima dégg naa fi ki ma wax ne moom dafa war a na taka jabar so bi moo war a taka jabar yaayi jànka bi ne booy bi ne man soo buggee taka suma doom bi foog nga tukki waaw yaay bi moo ko woy with authority
So why
comme nekkul li ma nettali lii liñ ma wax la ma dégg ko liñ ma wax la ma dégg ko taxaw borom ne ma jeena ba I wanted to marry this person waaye yaaya moo taxaw with authority ne ma balaa nga ko mën a taka foog ñu gis la biir yi
waa jigéen bi tamit dafa war a wax ne loolu correctul
ban jigéen
ku bugg a taka
waaw waaye how far is the education pour kooku xam ne sax dafa war a taxawal
yeah but come on
so xam nga
xam nga loolu soo waxee ne correctul papa bi tamit mu ne ma ne
ñoom ñëpp a si bokk
Europe ñaaka Europe
you cannot put them there.
It could be maybe
papa bi ma ne yaay bi su
is not part of it. Xam nga papa yi dañ leen dee blame.
papa yi taka
papa bi bokku ci.
papa yi taka su boobaa papa bi jël groupe bi na dañoo taka te dara du si
waaye
Jenaba man I'll tell you something man the
loolu la te muy dëgg bi
listen man I'm talking from experience man the first jànxa bu ma bëggoon a taka mother bi did not agree I mean, but the father agreed. You understand?
Why munuta them?
Why munuta them? Because mother be agree with. It didn't work.
Yeah,
it didn't work.
For me, I believe, yeah,
sometimes if the father,
MS,
papa bi su nango, jigéen bi nango, cepe bi nango, bro, taka dafa wara am.
Xam nga lu xew?
Sometimes,
xam nga lu xew MS. Papa bi, bugut kii góor la muy góor. Bugut ko won ne man bëgguma lii
no honestly
si kaw la ko waaye papa bi bugut
some point am mun ngaa dem ba nga xam ne papa bi is genuine waaye maybe difference bu mu am ak mère
why we also have other arguments for instance man gis naa koo xamante ne moom parents yi jànga bi nanguwuñ ñu like ñu sëy but they went to the kadi
mu jeex tak
you have options bro you have options. And I think ne also su fekkee ne foog nga ne family bi duma fituma fii nga ut feneen boy.
déedéet uyuma loolu MS ma uyuma MS non loolu MS yow tamit bul wax loolu waaye.
no waay come on.
déedéet fish in the river.
déedéet
ñun tamit góor yi bari nañ fi. góor yi bari nañ fi te duñ xaaj du jeex. am fi taana kii taana sa bee boor.
mu ngay jël ni ma ne.
man li ma wax
déedéet gis nga fu
mu ne we have few góor
jigéen yaa ngi naa bari góor yi.
loolu ba léegi waaye loolu lu mu yaaxa.
waaye yaa ngi
xanaa dégguloo ñu ne góor bu nekk mun ngaa taka like 50 women.
ba yéen a ngi dem si marriage.
MS man li ma wax mooy. ñun ñoo war a break culture boobu noonu as young people.
I agree.
understand nga dañ am structures. bi di kaadi. understand nga. sëy bi yàlla daganal na ko amul dara. loo xam ne yàlla frowns at it. dem leen foofu ngeen sëy. amul sëy it's not about family boo fit in. It's not about fitting in the family. It's about two people.
No, it matters. It matters because so xoolee suñ realities in the Gambia. ñun we are so connected to our families. Sometimes da nga feel ne hey suma family. su ma demee si kaadi dañoo feel ne like mun nañ maa us. yeah so comme that perception
dañ laa us yooyu lañ la
yeah that's what I'm saying so that's the perception so da nga feel ne hey xaaral ma nekk suma family
blackmail yooyu lañ war a bàyyi
so that's the problem so te loolu mun na laa xont sax comme léegi-léegi nga toog sax
di ko xalaat
waaw nga feel guilty te probably loolu mun naa affect marriage bi so I think ne for me the best thing is su fekkee ne foog ngeen ne lii dina isi problème seen family bi you move on.
ba pare talking about family sa MS. talking about family ñu fi am benn vidéo bi nga xam ne moom la Hadi Ñang def about xari ñu seet ko because Tabaski bi tam mu ngi yaaxa family si. dégg naa fi xari aw xari ñaareel xari ñetteel xaw ma fan la jóge bii ñu ne si atelier la waaye mbubi juli tamit mu ngi yaaxa di balde waxandu
mbubi juli moom.
daf day mun a yaaxa ñu ne bii mbubi juli la xar yi ñëwoon na.
te lâché naa benn xaw ma ñun ma mita 1000 xaw ma 100.
mooy jas na bi muta 1002.
waaw 1002
mbasañ kenn solatu ko.
waaw léegi jas na moo xew.
waaye déglu ma gis nga nit ki.
waaw.
boy man dama dee dóor mbasañ dama ko ñaw bam nice ma dóor ko ma te ku ko gis mu ne dafa nice gis nga I think ne probably ñun tamit dañ dee put burden on ourselves soo amee jëndal
loo am
waaw waaye ne yow because of you know normative social influence yow yaa ngi gis ne kii ak kii def na ko man tam xaaral ma def ko I think ne loolu tamit warata am ay aawo yeeg lifin aawo yi mooy xari ñaareel xari déedéet ñu soo munee benn xaar yéen ñëpp ngeen toog
ngeen séedoo
enjoy ko
loolu la sax
no that is beautiful sax
boy is
Balde
beautiful
rey na fi béy
man rey naa fi béy di
it's normal
amoon na benn Tabaski xar yaa ngi seer ma dem jënd béy
waaw ganaar sax soo ko amee
waaw béy ma rendi ko nii
te ak béy moo ba pare béy dafa saf
ba pare ma grill bu saf madame grillal ma ko grill bu saf
xam nga kooku dafa maan
waaw
so loolu la ñoo ñaan su ko defee ñun ñëpp ñu ñëw together
understanding is very important I think we should support each other
ba pare xam nga lu xew sanse bi sax du si mbuba bi si individual bi la si nit ki la soo fi mu nekk nii nañ dem seet lan la am ñawkat yi di wax ak Khady Niang suñ dellu see waxtaan bi continuer incha allah.
Asalaamaaleykum na ngeen def mbaa yaa ngi am jàmm man de wala ut si mbaa ndekki ngi fi rek.
non ndekki waaw incha allah ndekki am na moom.
nuyu naa la Pape.
waaw fay naa la Khady Niang.
waaw
ci loo nekk waaw maa ngi si jàmm bu baax.
bu ko defee rek ma nuyu this morning team bi di am mbégte lool ci suma doom joju Jennifer bi mbaa yaa ngi am jàmm ana DJ Balde Bana mbaa yéen a ngi am jàmm yéen it béggee naa képp ku seetaan jamono ji this morning programme tey nag maa ngi fii biir Massa Serekunda waaye nag ñëw seet si ki nga xamante mooy Pape pour waxtaan ak moom ci période bi ñu nekk période tabaski la te xam nañu ñu bëri ñu ngi lijjanti ay ñaw waaye ku ci amit piis si ñawkat bi nga jëm moo tax ñu ñëw seet si ñawkat bi Pape noo def
waaye maa ngi sant yàlla
ñawkat bu rëy bi ci réew mi
waa gis nga ko lii la yàlla def
dagg sa doole la
waaw gis nga ko loolu moom may borom
waaw loolu am na gis nañ ne nag jamono ji ñu nekk jamono tabaski la ñëpp a ngi waajal tabaski ji ci wàllum sañse gi xam nga daf cee bokk tamit
waaw ci la bokk buñu ne tabaski sañse la waaw ba tax na moom xam naa ne gaa yaa ngi ci kawam bu baax
papa bokkoo si ñi ma xam
non fii moom ku ñëw
rek ñu ne la kaay ñu dem
non fii moom ku ñëw dinañ la defaral comme ba mu baax daal te di nga jot sa ñaw ci heure bi nga ko soxlaa waaw
mbaa doo jël lu ëpp yi
non du ma jël lu ëpp
bés bi passé ñu lay kool nga naan ndox leen damaa génn nekkuma
non xalaatuma loolu
yow ci fan ngay toll rek nga tëj bu desee ñaata fan ngay tëj sa bug ne dootoo jël ñaw
non fi nekk nii rek commencé nañoo tëj suñ bug waaw tëj nañ
ba yéen heure ngeen fii nekk di ñëw
waaw fi nekk nii moom dañ fi dee nekk ba 6 buñ julee waaw signal
kon yéen ban heure ngeen di ubbi kon si suba gi
waaw dañ dee ibbi ay boor yi 9 10 waaw 6 lañ dee wàcca ibbi 9 10 si suba
this morning la si 8 o'clock 10 o'clock bii
gis nga ko
waaye def nañ lu rëy de
non suma gan yu kii ngeen ci man moo tax ma ñëw waaw
am benn problème ñu ngi lay nuyu bu baax te di la ñaanal julli jàmm nga dugg ci bisimilah génn ci alhamdulilah rabbil alamin yal na ko yàlla defal réew mi yëpp am nañ mbégte tey si ñëw waxtaan ak
maa leen gën a bég
lan ngay ñaax sa moromu ñëwkat yi
waaw xanaa di leen wax rek ne nañ fexe ba clients yi kontaan pour clients yi kontaan nag nañ leen defal liñ bëgg ba pare tamit ñu bañ leen a disappoint waaw loolu laay ñaax gars yi
ñu bari nag dañuy jàmbat ne ñaw yi dañ seer mbaa jàpp ngeen ne réew mi fi mu toll ñaw yi seer moom dana doy waar
non léegi waratuñ caaj ñaw yi seer dañu war a jàppale parce que ñoo clients yi benn lañ kon nag waruñ caaj lu seer dañu war di defar yërmande si biir waaw
kon mbokk yi lii lañ leen indiloon tey si this morning programme ñu ngi woon fii ci Pape Diop fii ci Massa Serekunda ci boori jumaa ji soo rombee garage BS boo jàddee rek di dem si jumaa ji di nga gis atelier bi mu doon ku baax ki nga xamante ne wax dëgg yàlla ku laabiir la ak ay clientam kon dañ leen di wax bye bye ba ëllëg ak jàmm ak ci leneen lu ñu dem seeti jërëjëf.
mu ne ak fi réew mi toolu ñaw waruta seer fan la réew mi toolu
well fooguma ne réew maa fi toolu àddina bi moo fa toolu time bi you know da ngaa gis ne lu nekk mu ngi seer waaye da ngaa gis tam téelo yi wax dëgg yàlla moom xam naa ne moom ñoom tam ñu ngi struggle because da ngaa gis matériel yooyu jënd sa nga def ko sa mbuba bi yëpp dafa yokku understand nga so suñ caajee tam you know war nañoo caaj suñ caajut war nañoo caaj
si sa dañ seet mbubi julli sa nga dégg ñu
ne pare léegi nag xamal ne su nekkee ne téelo yi dañ wise dañoo seet bu nekkee ne yow jes na nga jënd dañ laa charge according to that
jes na because xam nañ ne mita bi is 1000
VIP nga
man sant yàlla this time I am wearing a jaka you know jaka You know what jaka is?
Jaka, yeah, I think.
luy loolu
mbuba li fi mbasam bu mel ni nylon boobu noonu suma time xale
damaa kos maj rek sànni ko sa
jaka you know what jaka is iju dëkk bi fu mu tollu garaaw la de
MS waaye yow nga ne boo solee sa lii nii mbasañ sa dafa woo moo tax ma ne la si nit ki la
dafa wokk man moom lu ma lifit rek mooy loolu yeah I think ne man daal loolu la su ma amee jaka bi sax
jaka am na yoo ko ñëwee
dama paas jaka yeah so loolu la ñawkat yi tamit comme kii nu mu ko waxee ñawkat yi tamit you know they xam nga ñoom tam foofu la ñuy survive soo xoolee probably the cost of materials nga xool li nga xamante ne mooy rent am na ñu bari ñu ngi rent xam nga rent bi tamit xam nga is connected to their work suñ yokkee rent xam nga léegi rent léegi waaw nawek léegi nga bugg a ut générateur ak yu demee noonu fekk maybe yaa ngi am tamit ñi nga xamante ne ñu ngi laa liggéeyal yeah so you know it's the world order you know da nga gis ne bagage yi te ñoom tam ñu ngi amee family ñoom tam dañoo jëndi xar so foog nga connect loolu mooy sa livelihood so su fekkee ne things yi seer na obviously chain na so I think sometimes but also nañ ñoom tamit nañ xool naka lañ ko balancer buñ xool ne rek affaire yi ñëw na so nañ capitalize ñu yokk affaire yi
what is important
yeah
Tobaski benn bés la nañ try ñu spend ko wisely
waaw wisely
enjoy ko ak sa family waaye tam xalaatal there is life after Tobaski
absolutely I agree
people get to take a lot of loans at the end loan yooyu dañoo continuer
you don't need to do that
you waruloo jël loan li nga am MC man loolu laa wax de man xaw ma nag because nekkuma borom kër soo mënumaa xam because ku nekka yaa xam ni nga dëkk
jigéen ñi dañ war a understand góor yi nag understand
ñëpp a war a understand
waaw góor yi tam dañ war a
non góor nag tam
parce que nay baaxul
non waaye at some point góor tam
am na
góor yoo xam ne tam
Yeah.
sa jabar bi nga xam ne mu ngi laa defal everything di toppatoo sa néeg toppatoo sa ay doom toppatoo la kooku tam su bés bu mel ni Tobaski jotee
danga ko war a defal
wax dëgg yàlla bu nekkee yaa ngi ko am
danga ko war a def
war ngaa génne nga ne ko daalin am
bëggee jigéen ñi moom dañ leen war a bégal
wax dëgg yàlla
loolu moom am na solo ak suñ famille yi xale yi noonu because ñoom moom suñ gisee xar yi sax dañoo kontaan nga ñëwal leen jëndal leen lu nice
ba pare julli su jotee focus on sa kër ñi nekk si biti it should be secondary understand sa kër nga war a focus because yaa ngi am pressure si biti
absolutely
yaa ngi am pressure si biir so li si biti moom
dëgg nga am
pressure biti bi
ay ñun xamuñ loolu di ñun suñ kër yi rek lañ xam du noonu
jigéen ñëwkat yi tamit buñ jël loo xamante ne dafa ëppa because man dama di gis am na ñoo xam ne yenn saa nga gis ku toog di xaar ñëwam bi booy ba after July could you imagine and I think it's important
Tobaski ñëw na
Well, inshallah, you know, all of these things we are discussing, you know, it's just to add the fun to it. But on a serious note, you know, it's just a one-day thing, like you mentioned. There's no need to get into lep yi nga xam ne comme duñ ko mën a fulfill nekkuma borom kër nag waaye on a general terms we can all man tam I'm from a household obviously and I see how hard things can be but ñu ngi ñaanal ñëpp rek ñu fekkee ko at yu bare 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 so let's get back to serious business. Enough of laughing. Let's get back to serious business and take a look at what the newspapers are saying. APRC is talking about putting up candidates for the local government elections. What is your take on that, MS? Risky, normal? What do you say?
Yeah, they are a registered party, so and they have every right to put up a candidate. But if in the case that they also want to continue with their alliance, yeah, looking at the prospects, it depends on the candidate that you. Sometimes it might not be the party; it might be the candidate. You know, we've seen the National Assembly election, Banjul, and other places where you see independent candidates winning. Banjul, the independent candidates won 2 seats. So it depends on for me, I believe, it depends on the candidate you know, the prominence of the candidate, the person who is coming. It's difficult to predict that if this party comes,
this is
they will win, because we've seen the National Assembly elections. What people were thinking is one of the parties will come and sweep all the polls, but it was the contrary. So I believe, you know, anyone who wants to come and contest, you can come and contest. Yeah, I'm also urging women to come on board. Parties should also consider putting women candidates, especially at the ward level, you know, so that we can have more women representative. You know, if you look at the elected councillors, we have 120 wards, just few, I think 8, less than 10% are women. So we should try to make sure that women
I will tell you something.
Yeah.
We'll go into the elections and come back here and still talk about women participation.
Yeah.
I mean, people do a lot of noise about women. I mean, but at the end of the time, you know, you will see no action. At the end of the time, I mean, women will not be voted in. I don't know why.
Yeah, there are a lot of factors. The cultural factor is there, you know, the perception that women should not lead. Also women themselves, you know, feeling that, yeah, this is not our space, because if you vie as a woman, you know, you are prone to a lot of character assassination. People might even tell you things that it's not even you. You know, they will start giving you history. Not everyone can pass that, but I believe everyone should try in the case. You know why we want, I think women should participate, because when it comes to decision making, some of these decisions are best made by women. Like, for instance, you know, issue of menstruation, issue of childbearing, you know, policies around, you know, women reproductive health. You know, women can tell you what they feel, and you know, progressively, if we want to progress, women should definitely be at the helm of affairs, so that, you know, with their ideas, you know, they can help, because they can talk with each other, and also know their concerns, because you are also living, you have lived that experience. So, you know, in nation building, women are so key in nation building.
Yeah,
so
so
it's
moving on,
important.
let's talk about NAWEC. You know, we all live in this country, and we are all experiencing the current on and off. Just yesterday, I was suffering in my room. I don't know for you. You're in the matter.
I think it's a total blackout.
Yesterday was
yes,
crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
2 to 3 to 4 times.
I think something is wrong somewhere, because for me, my area, it's very rare for us to have a power cut or something. Sometimes when it goes 30 minutes, it's back, and it can stay for 3 days without even, you know, going. But I mean, now every 10-15 minutes it goes.
But we have a new minister, so hopefully he can look into matters.
We're hoping that NAWEC will definitely improve. You know, they will improve. Definitely they should. And looking inwards, I think they are having their power plant on this renewable energy in Jambu, right? They're working.
And also they had a MOU with this Senegal.
Yeah, Senegal. Like, but around Farafenyo mom, ñu nekk ci city bi.
ñu ne lay do.
Oh my goodness.
Are you sure we should trust NAWEC here? I mean, are you sure we should trust them? Because NAWEC send office bi dégg naa ñu ngi amee UPS. You know, so can you imagine in case line should them?
NAWEC, I think NAWEC should improve, because gis nañ a lot of signing.
Last time can you imagine?
They were even before the National Assembly. You see, send select committees, regulate them, bam. Guys, you start the whole and the I'm going problem. So I think we have to, the energy system should definitely be looked at. Even linga hamantene moy importing this power. I think we should move away from that.
Thank you, MS.
So thank you so much, MS. This has been fun. You know, it went beyond actually newspaper review. We talked about bed bugs. you know, talked about Tabaski, you know, and everything. So it was a good conversation. I know he's a president, but when you come on this morning, so thank you so much for joining us. So we will go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll get to talk about, you know, rules and regulations governing the process of registering a business in the Gambia, and we'll be joined by Alassane Job, Assistant Registrar. Thank you so much for joining us.
Check out the all-new Tigo app at S-Pass Motors. Call 3522-222 or 353-2222 for more information. Cherry. Q Money, the biggest mobile money service in the Gambia, has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now, you can link your Q Money wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your Q Money wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using Q Money Bank Link is the fastest, most secure, and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from that commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. So yes, now we're about to talk about process of business registration. Ibrahima, I see how much the program today is quite connected, you know, considering that, you know, we are talking about changing the narrative when it comes to irregular migration and ensuring that individuals are more independent. And to be independent is true what is true. Coming up with a business idea, registering it, and going through the entire process. So to make that easy and to clear all of your doubts when it comes to business registration, we're joined by Alassane Job, Assistant Registrar, who will take us through all of the processes. So Alassane Job, thank you so much for joining us. So I have conversations with individuals, and they tell me, Jainaba, the process of registering a business in the Gambia is quite easy. How so is that?
Yeah, good morning. Thank you very much for the invitation. As you rightly said, my name is Alassane Job. I'm the Assistant Registrar of Companies at the Ministry of Justice. But my office is stationed at KMC. We have our head office in Banjul at the Ministry, and we have a sub-office at KMC where I'm heading. Yeah, that's a good point to start, because there is a lot of misconception about businesses in the Gambia. Some people actually think it's very difficult.
Yeah, to some it is easy.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of getting paperwork in the Gambia, especially from government institutions, they just have this mindset that it's difficult, but it's quite actually very easy. It's a legal requirement that every business that is operating in the Gambia should register. It's a legal requirement, and failure to do that, I mean, we have the right to close that business. So, I mean, when you say it's easy, it depends on, because we have different categories of businesses. But the most common one, which is a sole trader, that is a business owned by one person. Almost all these shops you see around Keraba Avenue, Gympex, they are sole traders. They are owned by one person. Right. And they can be registered within a day by just providing a copy of your ID and TIN number and pay $500, and then we give you a business certificate. So it's that easy.
Okay, amazing.
Okay, first of all, I mean, before we delve into the process of business registration, let's talk about the importance of registering a business.
Good. Very important. So knowing us as the Gambians we are, the law says when you have a business is to register. Most people do not know. Most people know, but they don't. So we are very, Gambians are, we are not proactive, we are very reactive. We wait until something triggers something before we do what is required of us. So many people, the importance of registering a business cannot be overemphasized. Number one, the law says you should. Number two, if you want to open a business account and you go to the bank, no bank in the Gambia will open a business account for you if you don't register, because the registration certificate, the business certificate is like your birth certificate. It's like your ID card as an individual. Right. So that shows that the business is legally registered to do business. So the banks will not open a business account for you if you don't register. if the government or any institution is awarding contracts, you see on the newspapers in an invitation for bid or tender or whatever, if you don't register, they will not give you that contract. Government will never pay any vendor if you don't have your business registered. For traveling purposes also, many people that go to these embassies to travel, if they ask you what's your occupation, you say I'm a businessman, you need to prove that you actually own a business, and that you need to show your business certificate. So there are many things that you cannot do as a businessman if you don't register. I mean, if you have international partners that you want to partner with, they want to invest in your business, you need to show them proof that your business is registered. So a lot of people that come to register actually do not willingly come because, oh, the law says I should come and register. Something triggers it before they come. They come and tell us, oh, I have a contract awaiting, or I have money being paid into my account, but they said I should register, then they come and register. So yes, those are the few of.
So how do you go about registering a person who is in urgently need of business registration certificate? Does he pay more money, or does he pay the regular 500?
Yeah, you pay 500, whether it's urgent or not. It's just $500. It's for individual. We have other categories of business like partnerships, unlimited liability companies, which pay more fees. But for a sole trader, which is common, it's $500 only.
So to be able to register a business, what does it take? Because they are at individual levels, there are things that you need to fulfill before going to the entity to actually register the business. So at individual level, what are some of the fulfillments before an individual gets to register?
You must be 18 years. A minor cannot own a business.
Right.
And then you just need to provide a copy of your ID and your tax identification number, and then that's what you present to us, and then we'll give you an application form which you fill, which you put your business name, business address, the nature of business you want to do, and then we will check whether it's correct, whether it's legal, because there are certain names of businesses that we don't allow, certain categories of business that we cannot register. And then once you fill the form and attach your ID and TIN number, and then you pay 500, and then we will input it in our system. We will check whether the name you want to use does not exist or is not similar to another existing business, to avoid duplication of business names.
Yeah.
You need to ensure that the words in the name that you're using are legal. There are certain words that we don't accept. And then once you prove that, then we enter in the system and give you a receipt and a certificate.
So you get to check the concept as well, if it's duplicating another concept.
The business
closely.
name, yeah, the business
So
name.
you focus only on the name or the concept?
Well, no, as far as the concept is legal.
Okay.
Yes, it's fine. But the name, we have so many, you see so many like Toure Enterprise, Toure Trading in the country, and we avoid that. So we have a system which can check whether that name is already existing.
If it's not a duplication or not. Okay.
Exactly. So what about maybe renewing your business license, which is very important? What is the process of renewing the license, or how long will it take you to renew a license?
Good question. Before answering that, let me just make a quick distinction between the license, because many people actually get a trade license and they confuse it with the business certificate. So the business certificate is issued by the Registrar of Companies under the Ministry of Justice. The trade license is issued by the local authorities, either BCC or KMC or Birkam Area Council. It's different. That one is for the local authorities. So the business certificate, when you register, you are required to file annual returns. It's the same thing as renewing every year upon the 1 year anniversary. It's very important. Most people think, oh, someone called me last week and said he wanted to register, but he said no, he'll wait till January because when he registers, it will expire in December. I told him no. It's after the 1 year anniversary. If you register on the 28th of June, you have up to the 28th of June the following year before you can come and file your return. That is renewing. You pay the same $500 and then we renew it. We give you another certificate.
Okay.
There was a time I registered a business. I mean, at some point, I stopped the business for some time. Now I want to renew my registration again, but I have to pay all the
areas,
all the pending,
yes,
areas.
In fact, that was we did you a favor. You are supposed to pay a penalty.
Yeah.
But if you register and you don't file returns, the law requires us to charge you a penalty. Yes. So we are not imposing that penalty for now. So we just ask you to pay the normal 500 renewal, and we give you certificates for all those years. Because the penalty is very, very harsh. If you start imposing it, I'm sure a lot of businesses would close down.
Yes. They will. So I want to know, before you register a business, does an individual, do you check the person's financial standing? Is that necessary to say, okay, this is an amount that maybe the business is supposed to be worth, maybe depending on the different categories of businesses? Do you consider that? Do you look into that?
No, not necessarily. because I mean the registration is governed by law, and we go by what the law requires us to do. We don't go in. We don't delve into that basically.
Okay. So do you think it's important to delve into that, depending on bigger businesses investigating where maybe the money comes from and all of that? Do you think to avoid people operating illegally? Don't you think that's important?
Yeah, for the purpose of data collection, we have a lot of people writing to us wanting to know like small scale businesses, those youths that are involved in small scale or big scale, but we cannot give them this information because we don't have it. So I mean, what we are there to do is to ensure that you have a business, the law says you register and you renew, and you inform us of, especially companies, you inform us of changes that happen in the company, like change of shareholders, change of directors, change of secretary. All of those things should be filed with us, because not only are we there to register, we are also the public custodian of all corporate records, all registered businesses, companies, charity foundations. We have their records, and these are public documents that anybody can have access to.
So my question is, do you have a particular committee maybe responsible? I'm not talking about small businesses. I'm talking about bigger businesses where they actually look into where the business is originating from, where the money is coming from. You know, kind of trying to look at the legality of this particular business operating. I just want to know.
Yes, we don't work in isolation. We don't work as an island.
Right.
So most often times we get letters from the Financial Investigation Unit, FIU,
Yes.
requesting certain information on certain companies because they believe that the source of funding for those companies are linked to terrorism or something like that.
That's where I'm heading.
So we give them those information. When you come to register a company, especially for non-Gambian shareholders, we usually want to know who are the actual people running this business.
Exactly.
Because some people will put certain people there as the shareholders when they are not the
not.
true shareholders of the
Yes,
company.
it's just
So we want to go as far as knowing who the beneficial owners of those shares are. And sometimes if they come from suspicious countries, we tend to work with the SIS or the FIU for them to investigate them more, because the number of companies we register in the Gambia does not sync with our economic reality. We register a lot of companies here, and that I keep wondering, okay, where are all these companies? If they are all operating in the Gambia, we wouldn't have youth unemployment.
Exactly.
So most of them use the Gambia as a hub. They come and just register here and be using the company here account to transport funds that are meant for another country and use it anyhow. So we are very careful with that, because when you come, for example, to register a company, you give us copies of the company's constitution, that is the articles and memorandum of association, including the IDs or passport of the actual people who own the company or who are running the company. And we check all these documents, and then before we issue a certificate. So it's not as easy as just submitting documents and then we just give you certificates.
But you already talked about the fact that we have more companies than reflecting the current reality.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so why is that? How did that happen?
Well, I mean, we have to be careful to go and find, to go and investigate them. Even though we have the power to investigate any company, we have that power under the Companies Act. But when they come to register, most of the time, maybe most people think actually Gambia is very easy and cheaper to register a company here than many countries. Considering that you can do all this in one day, the money is not. I mean, if you convert, let's say to register a company, the minimum you'll pay is 11,500. So most of these investors convert that into dollars and they think it's nothing. So they just come to the Gambia, register businesses anyhow, and just forget about it. We have a lot of dormant companies that register just to fulfill one particular contractual purpose and forget about it.
And that is why I'm saying then you have to use the powers that exist to actually look into these things. It's not done.
We have the power to close these redundant companies. We have a lot of redundant
and investigate to see why that was registered. Like you said, it's not really reflecting, and that is alarming.
Absolutely, that's very true.
So let's talk about non-Gambians owning businesses in the Gambia. So what are the requirements for a non-Gambian to register a business in this country?
Yeah, there is no difference whether you are a Gambian or non-Gambian. The same procedures, the same fees is what you pay. Yeah, there is no actual. Most of the big companies in the Gambia are owned by non-Gambians. But when it comes to payment of taxes, non-Gambians pay expatriate tax. They pay more tax than Gambians. But when it comes to setting up the business, a non-Gambian equally pays 500 to register a business.
So how many businesses do you register a week? I mean,
that's going to be an estimate.
Yes.
Let's say 50 every week.
Every week.
Yes, and I mean
that's quite a lot, huh?
It's too much.
But also we have, should I say, virtual companies, because a lot of people get
I call them ghost companies.
Ghost, because they have the business, but they don't have like the structures. You know, they're just doing it remotely and stuff.
Yeah, and some just register just to fulfill a particular. Like most people, when they want to travel, They just come and register and submit it at the embassy, and they tell them that they are doing business.
But
moo tax ngeen war a use seen power bi nag di invest lii warut a am.
I mean bu nekkee nit dafa bëgg a register su register yi ba pare pour travel xanaa embassy bi du dee dem through that history
ñooñu dañ am jot boobu.
waa history of time boom register business bi and the duration it took him to come to.
People plan. If you want to travel next 2 years, you start registering now, so that when you go, you tell them you have a business that is registered last year. For the embassy, for the embassies, they just need to confirm that it's authentic. You got an authentic business certificate. Well, that's it. So, sometimes people want to get one contract from the government or from somebody. They just quickly register, get that contract. Even if they don't get it, it's in our system as registered. But in reality, you are not operating. So that's why when people request for information on number of registered businesses, I always tell them to treat the data with caution. Do not you rely on this data and thinking all these businesses are operating in the Gambia.
And
they are
employing
not.
people.
But every time people give us addresses, care about, even your address, every time people give us number one, care about having as business address, you go there, you don't even see them.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a
well, there was a time too, people were calling from, I think, the ministry. They were calling businesses, trying to inquire. At some point, there is a guy that called me, to meet up with me, and come and see the business that I am doing. I don't know whether you were involved in that.
No, not.
Yeah, he was calling at some point, telling me we went to the ministry. They gave us business registration names, so we want to know the type of business that you.
Yeah, most people need those information for research purposes. Every time we get letters saying that they need to know the number of youths that are engaged in business, the number of male to female ratio in terms of business ownership, all of those things. Yeah.
So mainly for research.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Job, for joining us on the program. So any final touches?
Yeah, just to add that we also register, apart from businesses, non-business entities that are charitable organizations, these foundations and charity organizations. We also register them, and they are registered not for business purposes, but for charity purposes. It's also abused a lot. People register a lot of charity organizations here, saying that if you read their aims and objectives, helping to eradicate poverty, to help women in distress, and then...
No, leader for what stop.
Well,
there are certain objectives in ambitious. Come the reason why these organizations do not work is part of the reasons is because you look at the objectives, it's not specific. It's too vague. What are you seeking to achieve? Tell us something specific, solve it. But if you generalize it to be able to attract funding from all over the place, things will not work. It's unfair.
Yeah, it's very difficult to enforce these things. We have very good laws. But the enforcement is always a challenge. But it's a general problem.
It is.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Job. Thank you so much. Looking forward to another conversation.
Thank you very much.
Yes, so we'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by Mamadou Gajaga. So Mamadou Gajaga came second place in the IOM migration reporting competition. So he will join us soon to actually take us through, the whole process. And we'll be right back.
Frame certificate and some cash prize. Yay! So before we proceed with the awarding, I'd like to invite, well, first of all, thank you to our partners for coming here. Of course, Ms. Ivana, who from the EU delegation, we've received a lot of support from the EU for initiatives aimed at improving migration reporting in the Gambia. And of course, Mr. Monday from the Ministry of Interior for being our main counterpart in the area of supporting and strengthening return and reintegration. I'd like to invite Mr. Monday to give a few opening remarks before we proceed with the awarding. Monday.
To make people to understand why migration, why returns, and why readmission, and why reintegration. And also to make people understand that the people who are coming are our own people. When they come, we need to receive them. The issue of stigmatization, the issue of discrimination should all obviously be discarded. We should not actually go with that. So you people who actually are journalists, going out to inform people about how they should handle, manage, and migration is quite vital.
All right, welcome back from that short video. Like I said, Mamadou Gajaga of QTV came second place in the IOM migration reporting. So he's here with us to actually tell us all about it. And like I said, Ibrahima, if there's anything also attached, bugulo buga nga wala bugulo
ah man buga naa de
man tobaski bu jage bi
bu nekkee mu ngi fa buga naa de
man tamit de buga naa welcome to the program.
Yes, thank you very much. Hey, it feels great to be here and in a different capacity today. Yeah. So
can you just
always,
raise that up?
Yes, so always as journalists, we sit people in the studio or somewhere outside on location to interview them. But how about being in the studio and being interviewed by your colleagues? So
the interviewer being interviewed.
Yeah.
So Ibrahim, Momodu, tell us about the story that you submitted. You know, why is this particular story special? You know, second place and first place, there's not a lot of gap, you know, so I know it must have been a thin line. So just tell us what is special about the story?
Well, I would have wished the judges are here to check and say, okay, this is the reason why we choose it.
But you submitted it for a reason.
Yes, I submitted it for a reason. The story is about migration, Gambian immigrants in Germany who are on the verge of being deported. Because some of them, about 2,000 of them, completed their legal issues and things like that. So the German government announcing that, and I've got a contact on the ground in Germany who was a former Gambian journalist but now into migration activism. Nima Jadama interviewed her about what does it mean, the deportation issue. What does it mean for the migrants? So that interview, you know, I put in a whole lot of details about the plight of migrants, especially Gambian migrants in Germany, in Italy and other parts of Europe, how migration is a challenge for the country. The reason why people are desperate to leave this country to go and seek for greener pastures and things like that. So I think, yes, when the judges looked at it, they said, oh, I think, yeah, this one is good for second place.
Okay, and how did that feel?
Fantastic. It feels good. Yeah. Initially, I just sent it just for the sake of, oh, okay, I saw this migration competition, which is about migration reporting. Also, they said it has to be ethical depending on the language that you use, and as well as promoting reporting on migration and helping to raise awareness about migrants' challenges around the world, especially Africans and Gambia in particular. And in that, I think, yeah, so when I was informed via email, I'm like, oh, really? So this is something special.
It is. But Momodu, you are an award-winning journalist, right? This is not the first time that you've won an award. You know, how do you feel when people say, Momodu Gede award-winning journalist? Why, when I talk to you about it, you are like, Jana, but this is not something I want to put out, you know? But I'm always like, Jaga, put it out there.
Yes, I think gradually I'm getting there. Yeah, accepting the fact that, you know, when your work is being recognized and say, although I don't put it into my head, for me it's like, oh, a challenge. Because in journalism we say you are only as good as your last story.
Yeah.
So once you did a fantastic story for that particular day and it's been reported, then that's it. Another day you have to write or report another outstanding story in that way. So I think it gives me motivation. It gives me that feeling that, you know what, you can do more, you can do better every time.
Yeah, if you, I mean, you're an award winner. Why do come on a daw? Mom daf ko de buga daw.
Man dama ko de daw be
to a point. Daf ko de daw lolu.
Musuma ko binda ci suma CV or in my write-up, but yeah.
Man musuma uyuma Ibrahim na fi am award journalism nga xol dama ko enu suma bo xamé. Di ko enu do ko enu.
Enu ko.
Enu ko kay. Ma ko enu bi sa ba ki dem.
Problem bi balde moy. Dama day buga soap, but comme how ma nuñ dé soobé.
It's not about soap, gaja.
So suma yena soap yi nak news bi suma solé suit bu es. Bobu dama day soap. Ma togué mën na tok ni sa ci indi ni news bi mané bye.
Wow, thank you.
Wow, bobu soap la dé. Bye. Normally bye.
Gaja xam nga luy dégg bi. Nit ki lo liggéey dara nekkul ci. Comme dañ tollu ci jamono bo xamné fokk nga jaay sa bopp. Understand? Da nga jaay sa bopp.
Waaye tam dafa important nga jaay sa bopp, waaye mu em de.
Déedéet loolu yaa ko lig non.
Non dafa
wara em tamit de.
Dafa wara em comme bay la tay koy woni
too much of everything is bad.
Mu tour.
Du ëpp. Dara nekkul ci lu em ni CV mu ne moom du fa binda ne award winning journalist.
Waaw loolu ay CV loolu mun nga ko binda.
Si jawaji sax.
Waaw xam nga soo ne award winning journalist.
Waaw.
Dafa am ñu bari nuñ ko jëlee am na ñuy ne dafa sóob.
non
am na mun naa ne receive nga award. instead of award winning journalist. xam nga dafa am wording bi is very important.
bul dugg si loolu.
understand
non.
you know waaye dafa depend tam de nit ki ak noomel.
Mamadou man bés bu ma fi winee award journalism. si suba si ndoog ma change ma
profile bi waaw.
parce que xamal da it's something you worked for.
I know of course definitely.
waaw baax na dégg nga waa contrôle.
non bés boo winee award de boobu ñun ñoo ko dem jëli.
yow sax.
dinañ ko dem jëli.
waaw so Gajaga I want you to accept it. It's your title. You are an award-winning journalist, no matter what.
Yes,
it's there.
I've definitely accepted it.
Yes, please.
Yeah, but with a cool head as well.
You are top journal. What are you talking about? You know, but generally, what should we look forward to, you know, moving on, you know, when it comes to your work, you know, you read the news, you have skill sports, you know, you write your stories. So what should we look forward to from Mamadou Gajaga?
Working harder and harder every day, try to be much better than myself.
Yeah.
I don't compete with anybody, I compete with myself.
Yeah.
If I know I did this story and it's an average story, I want to do a much better story. I want to report it in a much better way. So every time, keep on reading every day, keep on improving. For me, the bar is looking at the people who are the best in this business. I watch them, I listen to them, I read about them. So that's my level. I want to be like one of the best out there, if not the best.
So who filmed the story?
Well, the story, the interview is done through a video link.
Okay, it's virtual.
Via Zoom. It's virtual.
It's not like a camera operator.
Exactly.
Because sometimes you fatelen. So we're giving them a thumbs up because they contribute directly, immensely to the work that we do.
It's teamwork. When the news was streamed on that particular day and it came on air, it's programs, it's technical department, it's the camera department and everybody, and you know, all the managers.
You know, I think as a country, when it comes to awards that we put up or initiatives, we should be more accommodating of the videographers, because I do not see, you know, them being accommodated. That should be improved, because am nañ fi ay ñu xarañ sax ñi nga xam ne dinañ leen mën a incorporate dugal leen dimbale leen. And also I talk to the video operators ma ne leen ne soo demee si yeneen dëkk yi da ngaa gis ku am page am xëj na set up something where people dinañ xam ne lii mooy sa liggéey. Waaye man sometimes caméra opérateur ñoo dem film rek ñoo toog xam nga loolu tam du dox te mun nañ lu ñoo def mun nañ ko, so ñoom tam dañ war a arrange seen boppa in a way ne dinañ attract attention. Gajaga, I don't know if you feel what I'm saying.
Well basically, it's sort of a marketing is selling your image, what you do, you put it out there, and then people see it, and they can contact you, and you did this extremely very good job.
They're doing well.
So across
we all know television cannot work without a team like camera, especially the camera department. You understand? It's very important. It's important for them to be recognized too.
Sometimes Gajaga, ñu ne cameraman, ñu ne man suma gisee ganar buy romba sax, ma ne camera jëlal ma li gaaw bala mo dem. You know, we make them, they're the ones that actually capture the movement and everything. So it is important. So Mamadou Gajaga, li lum andal, man lo lay laaj.
So this reporting is about migration.
No.
Loolu nga fi gis mu ngi nii certificate mook ak baxa
ana baxa bi
xaalis bi
baxa bi laa ni
baxa bi kayit la di
bul wax de
baxa bi lañ fi soxla suñ deewoo mu ngi si yow wala nekkul si yow
check lañ ma bindal waaw check bi xam nga check moom kayit la
sa tubaski baax na
waaw loolu moom dëgg la
sa tubaski si kaw
boobu moom mënuma ko wéedi
mënuloo ko wéedi
waaw moom tabaski baax na
soo dafoo ñooyu
because tabaski bu nekk dafa am lu ma daan jël waaw dis yaa jël ma loolu
bu ko jëlati sax te yal na yàlla def doo ko jëlati yow bu boobaa lu nekk di gën a continuer sa mbuba bi nga sol nii sax dafa mel ni bu ees la because da nga win lii xaalis bi dugal sa mbuba bii óoluwuma ko de.
Gajaga boobu si Aliou Diallo moo
man bi nga sol nii ba pare Gajaga fan yi dafa ñëw kanamam baa ngi bright. muy smile di doorante nit ñi xam nga.
waaye gàcc.
nit ki foog nga smile di foog nga kontaan
parce que dafa am lu si rax.
loolu rek xam nga léegoo-léeg daal foog nga joxe ay feem yu ees ak kii yooyu noonu you know.
sa ndox bi sa bi nga naan fan yi ñu ne ndoxi Sénégal bi nga naan doo dee naan ndoxi Gambie.
boobu ëpp na di.
Anyway, Mamadou Gajaga ñu ngi laa gën a encourage gis nañ liggéey bu baax bi nga def ba pare you know di ko delloo the whole team gis nga fii at the end of the day it's about ne Momodou Gajaga man su amee award rek man kontaan naa xam nga it's about you know gis team bi ku nekk muy dem forward te man team bi macha allah te Aliou Cissé ngi Abuja ëllëg feneen du ma wax keneen feneen loolu dafa neex which means everybody is developing collectively with the efforts that we are putting in a very young team macha allah waaye ñëpp a ngee dem ñëpp a ngee move loolu moo am solo nit ki daal mënuloo nekk benn place you know you just have to work towards moving. Bepere Tamet, I think she got Aji Bintu got an honorary mention. I saw something like that.
Yes, Aji Bintu got a special recognition award. So her story is unique according to the panel of judges. So she's giving a special award as well. A certificate and
it was
a mug and also some bar.
Okay, so that's like third place.
Yeah.
That's like after you.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of in that category, yeah.
But
it's giving a special recognition is what they call
it.
No.
Now I understand. Now I understand.
A special recognition.
Okay, now I understand. But
Mashallah. More awards to come, brother.
More awards
Good
to
luck.
come, Gajaga. Te bama buga nga enu ko sa bopa bi.
Ma def ndank rek.
Enu ko.
Bugo enu.
Ndank la, ndank.
Bugo enu. Thank you.
Anyway, this has been great. So fi mu nekk ni Ibrahima dafa mel ni loolu lañu time made.
Waaw mu ngi mel ni time bi jeex na.
Tak. So ëllëg inshallah ñu ñëwaat fi. Ba pare ngeen fee dellu si rek with more awards coming from ñun suñ colleagues yi ñu leen di celebrate wax dëgg yàlla. So we'll be back tomorrow inshallah. So ngeen identify yan xar ngeen buga moom daf dee dem identify benn xar ba indi ni weeri koor bi naka bési last day bi mu jënd xaram
bési julli ma dem jënd ko
mu dem jënd ko am ko half price yow nag moom sa xar bi dina nga ndax
moom naa ne moom this year xar bi dina watane de
non dina nga ndax dafa nga so till we come your way tomorrow bye bye